Welcome to SurePass, where we share for you to learn and succeed. In this video, we will be discussing persons criminally liable for felonies. Persons criminally liable for felonies. Sa ilalim ng ating revised penal code, hindi lahat ng taong kasangkot sa isang krimen ay may parehong antas ng pananagutan. Ang batas ay hinihiwalay o kinakategorya ang mga salarin batay sa kung gaano kalaki ang kanilang partisipasyon sa paggawa ng krimen. Ang pagkakategoryang ito ay nagpapasya kung anong uri ng parusa ang ipapataw sa bawat isa, depende sa kanilang papel sa naganap na kasalanan. So, sino itong mga taong criminally liable for felonies? Sila ay si principal, accomplices, and accessories. Si principal, accomplice, at accessories ay liable sa grave felonies at less grave felonies. Sa light felonies naman, si principal and accomplice lang. So pag light felony po yung nakumit, kagaya ng slight physical injuries, wala pong accessory na magiging liable. Now let us discuss each person's criminally liable for felonies. First, principals. May tatlong klase ng principal. First, those who take a direct part in the execution of the act, or principal by direct participation. Second, those who directly force or induce others to commit it, or principal by inducement. Third, those who cooperate in the commission of the offense by another act without which it would not have been accomplished, or principal by indispensable cooperation. I-discuss natin bawat isa. Principal by direct participation. They are the actual perpetrators of the crime. They are the ones who personally carry out the criminal act or take a direct part in its execution. They are physically at the scene and carry out acts that make up the offense. Example nito ay siya mismo yung bumaril, siya mismo ang sumaksak, o siya mismo yung pumatay. Paano naman kung more than one sila? Let's say tatlo silang nagplano na gawin yung krimen. Kailan sila considered na lahat sila ay principal by direct participation? First, that they participated in the criminal resolution. Ibig sabihin, kasama sila sa pagplano. And second, that they carried out their plan and personally took part in its execution by acts which directly tended to the same end. Isinakatuparan nila ang kanilang plano at personal na nakilahok sa pagpapatupad nito. Ginampanan nila yung role nila bawat isa. Example, yung isa siya ang maghahawak sa victim para hindi tumakas. Yung isa naman ay siyang sasaksak sa victim. May conspiracy kasi nga nag-usap-usap sila ng role ng bawat isa at nag-agree sa crime na gagawin nila. Next, principal by inducement. These are persons who directly force or induce others to commit a crime. They do not execute the act themselves, but their influence or command causes another to commit the offense. Bago makonsider ang isang tao as principal by inducement, itong mga requisites na ito ay dapat mayroon. First, that the inducement be made directly with the intention of procuring the commission of the crime. Yung pag-uudyok ng accused ay may intention talaga siya na sana gawin ni principal by direct participation yung krimen, hindi yung joke-joke lang or biro-biro lang. Second, that such inducement be the determining cause of the commission of the crime by the material executor. Ang paghihikayat ang naging pangunahing dahilan kung bakit ginawa ni principal by direct participation ang krimen. May dalawang paraan para maging principal by inducement. First, by directly forcing another to commit a crime. And second, by directly inducing another to commit a crime. What do we mean by directly forcing another to commit a crime? May dalawang way. First, using irresistible force. Then second, causing uncontrollable fear. When we discuss justifying circumstances, ito yung dalawang circumstances na nagpapawalang sala sa akusado, yung principal by direct participation. Yung gumawa mismo ng crime ay hindi liable because of the justifying circumstance. However, si principal by inducement na gumamit ng irresistible force or uncontrollable fear ay liable sa krimen. What do we mean by directly inducing another to commit a crime? First, giving of prize or offering of reward or promise. Ang taong nagbibigay ng premyo, gantimpala o pangako ay tinuturing na principal by inducement. Ang taong gumawa ng krimen dahil sa naturang premyo o pangako ay tinuturing na principal by direct participation. So si principal by inducement, binayaran niya si principal by direct participation para gawin yung crime. At yung binayad ng principal inducement, yun yung determining factor kung bakit ginawa naman ni principal by direct participation yung krimen. Second, using words of command. The person who used the words of command is a principal by inducement, while the person who committed the crime because of the words of command is a principal by direct participation. Lahat ba ng nag-uutos or words of command ay considered enough para masabing isa siyang principal by inducement? Pag sinabi ni Juan kay Mario na patayin niya si Pedro, enough na ba yon para masabi siyang principal by inducement? Ang sagot ay depende. Itong 5 requirements na ito ay dapat mayroon upang makonsider siyang principal by inducement. First, that the one uttering the words of command must have the intention of procuring the commission of the crime. So yung nag-uutos ay may intention talagang gawin yung crime. Inuutos nga lang niya sa iba. Hindi niya gagawin pero gusto niyang gawin niya ng iba. Second, that the one who made the command must have an ascendancy or influence over the person who acted. Ang taong nag-utos ay dapat may kapangyarihan, otoridad o impluensya sa taong sumunod at gumawa ng krimen. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas ang posisyon o may kontrol ang nag-uutos, kaya nagkaroon ng bigat ang kanyang utos at nagawa pa ng isa pang tao ang krimen dahil sa impluensyang ito. So kung isang tambay lang ang nag-utos sa'yo para pumatay at pumatay ka naman, hindi magiging liable si tambay as principal by inducement kasi wala siyang influence or ascendancy over you. Bakit mo siya susundin, di ba? Unless ikaw mismo ang may intention gumawa ng krimen, then ikaw lang ang liable as principal by direct participation. Third, that the words used must be so direct, so efficacious, so powerful, as to amount to physical or moral coercion. Ang mga salitang ginamit ay dapat napakadirekta, napaka-epektibo at napakalakas na para bang nagiging anyo na ng physical o moral na pamimilit. Ibig sabihin, ang utos o salita ay ganap na nakakapanghikayat o nakakapilit sa tao para gawin ang krimen, kahit hindi man gamitin ng pisikal na pwersa. Dapat convincing yung pag-uudyok. Fourth, that the words of command must be uttered prior to the commission of the crime. Ang mga salitang nag-uutos ay dapat na nasabi bago pa man gawin ang krimen. Ibig sabihin, ang utos ay naibigay ng maaga at naging dahilan o nag-udyok para mangyari ang kriminal na gawain. Hindi ito maituturing na inducement kung ang utos ay sinabi pagkatapos na magawa ang krimen. And fifth, the material executor of the crime has no personal reason to commit the crime. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi dahil sa utos o paghikayat ng ibang tao, hindi niya nanaisin o iisipin na gawin ang krimeng yon dahil wala siyang sariling motibo o dahilan para isagawa ito. Next, principal by indispensable cooperation. They are individuals who cooperate in the commission of the offense by another act without which it would not have been accomplished. Sila ay mga individual na nakipagtulungan sa paggawa ng krimen sa pamamagitan ng ibang kilos o gawa na, Kung wala ito, hindi sana maisa sa katuparan yung paggawa ng krimen. Sa madaling salita, hindi man sila ang mismong gumawa ng krimen, ang kanilang tulong o aksyon ay napakahalaga para mangyari ang paglabag sa batas. Para maging principal by indispensable cooperation, dapat itong dalawang elements ay mayroon. First, participation in the criminal resolution. That is, there is either anterior conspiracy or unity of criminal purpose and intention immediately before the commission of the crime charge. Kasama si accused sa pagpaplano gawin ang krimen na nais nila. Second, cooperation in the commission of the offense by performing another act without which it wouldn't have been accomplished. Halimbawa ng principal by indispensable cooperation. Si Juan at Pedro planong magnakaw. Ngayon, si Mario na isang security engineer doon sa building na nanakawan nila, siya ang nag-disable ng alarm para makapasok yung dalawa. Dahil sa ginawa niya, naging posible yung pagpasok ng dalawang magnakaw. Kung hindi niya ginawa yon, hindi magagawa ang krimen kasi nga tutunog yung alarm. Ang kilos ng taong ito o yung security engineer ay indispensable. Ibig sabihin, napakahalaga at hindi maaaring mawala. Kung wala ang kanyang tulong, hindi maisasagawa ang krimen. Kaya siya ay principal by indispensable cooperation. Now let's go to accomplices. Accomplices are those persons who, not being included in Article 17, cooperate in the execution of the offense by previous or simultaneous acts which are not indispensable to the commission of the crime. Ang ginawa ng accomplice ay hindi mahalaga o kinakailangan para mangyari ang krimen. Kahit wala sila, magagawa pa rin ang krimen, ngunit ang kanilang aksyon ay nakatulong sa pagsasagawa nito. An accomplice is also known as accessory before the fact. Accomplices do not decide whether the crime should be committed. They merely assent to the plan and cooperate in its accomplishment. Itong tatlong elements na ito ay dapat mayroon para makonsider ang isang offender as accomplice. First, the community of criminal design. That is, knowing the criminal design of the principal by direct participation. He concurs with the latter in his purpose. Ibig sabihin nito, alam ng accomplice ang plano o kriminal na layunin ng principal by direct participation at sumasang-ayon siya sa layuning iyon. Hindi po siya kasama sa pagpaplano kasi kung kasama siya sa pagpaplano, liable siya as co-conspirator. Alam niya lang yung plano nila at nag-agree siya. Second, that he cooperates in the execution by previous or simultaneous act with the intention of supplying material or moral aid in the execution of the crime in an efficacious way. Dapat ay tumulong ang accomplice sa aktwal na paggawa ng krimen sa pamamagitan ng naunang kilos o gawa o kasabay ng paggawa ng krimen ng prinsipal na may intensyong magbigay ng material o moral na tulong upang maging mas epektibo ang pagsasagawa ng krimen. Third, that there be a relation between the acts done by the principal and those attributed to the person charged as accomplice. Ibig sabihin, ang kilos na ginawa ng accomplice ay may kaugnayan at konektado sa aktwal na ginawa ng principal. Hindi sapat na andyan lang siya, kailangan ang kanyang ginawa ay may kontribusyon kahit hindi indispensable sa pagsasagawa ng krimen. Example, si Pedro nakapag-decide ng patayin si Juan sa pamamagitan ng pagbaril dito. Si Mario naman nalaman ang plano ni Pedro. Ang ginawa niya, nagpahiram siya ng sasakyan para magamit ni Pedro para mas mabilis siyang makapunta at makatakas. Accomplice lang dito si Mario kasi hindi naman niya kailangan ng sasakyan para pumatay. Nakatulong lang kay Pedro yung sasakyan pero hindi indispensable. Now let us go to accessories. Accessories. Accessories are those who having knowledge of the commission of the crime, and without having participated therein, either as principal or accomplices, take part subsequent to its commission in any of the following manners. First, by profiting themselves or assisting the offender to profit by the acts of the crime. Second, by concealing or destroying the body of the crime, or the effects or instrument thereof, in order to prevent its discovery. Third, by harboring, concealing, or assisting in the escape of the principals of the crime, provided the accessory acts with abuse of his public functions, or whenever the author of the crime is guilty of treason, parricide, murder, or an attempt to take the life of the chief executive, or is known to be habitually guilty of some other crime. Take note, an accessory is implicated only once the crime has been completed, not before it happens. So wala pong accessory kung hindi pa nagagawa yung krimen. May dalawang elements ang accessory. First, that he has knowledge of the commission of the crime, alam niyang may krimen na nangyari, and second, that he took part in it subsequent to its commission by any of the three modes enumerated in Article 19 of the Revised Penal Code as amended. Itong three modes, ito yung nabanggit natin kanina. I-discuss natin sila isa-isa mamaya. Ano naman itong independent responsibility principle? Ang pananagutan ng principal, accomplice at accessory ay magkakaiba at hiwa-hiwalay. Ibig sabihin, bawat isa ay may sariling antas ng responsibilidad depende sa papel nila sa krimen. Hanggat napapatunayan sa ebidensya na naganap talaga ang krimen, maaari nang hatulan ang accomplice o accessory kahit hindi pa tapos o hindi pa tiyak ang kaso ng principal. Sa madaling salita, hindi kinakailangang mahatulan muna ang principal bago masuri ang kasalanan ng accomplice o accessory. Basta't malinaw na may naganap na krimen, maaari nang pagdesisyonan ang kanilang responsibilidad. Kailan naman hindi liable ang mga accessories? Accessories talaga sila pero wala silang parusang kriminal. First, when the felony committed is a light felony. Sa light felony, principal at accomplice lang po ang criminally liable. Second, when the accessory is related to the principal as spouse, ascendant, descendant, brother or sister, whether legitimate or natural or adopted, or where the accessory is a relative by affinity within the same degree. So kung magkamag-anak si principal at accessory, hindi magiging liable si accessory as a general rule. However, as an exemption, pag nakinabang o kumita si accessory sa crime na ginawa ni principal, then hindi siya exempt from criminal liability. So ano nga ba itong three ways or mode para maging accessory? First, profiting oneself or assisting the offender to profit by the effects of the crime. Second, concealing or destroying the body, effects, or instruments of the crime. Third, harboring or concealing an offender. Let us discuss each. Profiting oneself or assisting the offender to profit by the effects of the crime. Kung ang isang tao ay tumanggap ng anumang ari-arian mula sa iba na alam niyang galing sa nakaw at ginamit niya ito o pinagkakitaan, siya ay may tuturing na accessory dahil pinakinabangan niya ang bunga ng krimen. Hindi man siya ang nagnakaw, ang paggamit at pakikinabang sa nakaw na ari-arian ay sapat upang maging accessory sa krimen. Kailangan bang mahatulan muna ang principal bago managot ang accessory? Ang sagot ay hindi kailangan. An accessory who falls under paragraph 1 may be convicted even if the principal is acquitted, as where the principal was found to be a minor or the son of the offended party. Second mode or way to become a accessory. Concealing or destroying the body, effects, or instruments of the crime. Ang pagtatago o pagsira sa ebidensya o crime scene mga bagay na bunga ng krimen o mga instrumento o mga gamit sa paggawa ng krimen ay nagiging pananagutan bilang accessory kung ito ay ginawa upang maiwasan ang pagdiskubre sa krimen. To conceal or destroy the body of the crime includes all matters of interfering with or altering the original conditions of the crime scene, or of anything therein which may be considered as evidence, or the corpus delicti, prior to completion of the evidence gathering by the law enforcers. Kailangan bang mahatulan muna ang principal bago managot ang accessory? Ang sagot ay hindi. An accessory under paragraph 2 who allegedly concealed or destroyed the body of the crime or the effects or instruments may be convicted if the commission of the crime has been proven, even if the principal has not been apprehended or convicted. Now let us go to the third one, harboring or concealing an offender. Ito ay tumutukoy sa isang tao na itinago, ikinubli o tinutulungan tumakas ang mga prinsipal o yung mga mismong gumawa ng krimen matapos ang krimen para maiwasan nilang maaresto, mahuli o mapanagot. Dito sa pangatlo, tignan muna natin kung sino yung accessory, kung public officer ba o private citizen, kasi magkaiba sila ng requisites or requirements para makonsidered silang accessory. Requisites when a public officer was the one harboring, concealing, or assisting the principal to escape. First, the accessory is a public officer. Second, he harbors, conceals, or assists in the escape of the principal. Pag accomplish ang itinago, hindi siya considered accessory. Third, the public officer acts with abuse of his public functions. Dapat ginamit niya yung pagiging public officer para itago o itakas yung principal. Fourth, the crime committed by the principal is any crime provided it is not a light felony. Pag light felony, walang liability ang accessory. Example, si Antonio ay binaril niya si Pedro. Naroroon naman si Nieto, isang pulis, at nakita niya ang krimen habang nagaganap. Sa halip na arestuhin si Antonio na tungkulin niya bilang pulis, sumama pa si Nieto kay Antonio papunta sa bahay nito. Nanatili pa sila roon ng higit 5 oras matapos ang krimen. Ano si Nieto sa nagawang krimen? Siya ay isang accessory under the third mode or way to become an accessory. Bilang pulis, tungkulin niyang arestuhin ang sinumang gumawa ng krimen sa kanyang harapan. Sa pamamagitan ng hindi niya pag-aresto at pagtulong pa sa pag-alis ng salarin, tinulungan niyang makatakas o maiwasan ang agarang pananagutan ni Antonio. Paano naman kung private citizen yung accessory o taong tumulong sa principal para makatakas o magtago? Ano ang mga requisites para makonsider siyang accessory? First, the accessory is a private person. Second, he harbors, conceals, or assists in the escape of the author of the crime. Third, the crime committed by the principal is either treason, parricide, murder, or an attempt to take the life of the chief executive, or is known to be habitually guilty of some other crime. Kapag public officer, walang specific crime, pero pag private person or citizen, yung accessory, dapat itong mga crimes na ito ang ginawa ng offender o yung principal para makonsidered siyang accessory by the third mode or way. Example, si Juan na lamang nagnakaw si Pedro. Dahil kaibigan niya si Pedro, tinago ngayon ni Juan si Pedro. Since ang theft or robbery ay hindi siya included sa nabanggit, hindi magiging liable si Juan sa pagtatago niya kay Pedro. However, kung si Juan ay aside sa tinago niya si Pedro, ginamit niya din yung mga ninakaw ni Pedro o pinagkakitaan niya, accessory na siya by virtue of the first mode, but not the third mode. Kailangan bang mahatulan muna ang principal bago managot ang accessory? Oo sa case na ito. Dito sa third form or kind or way to become an accessory, kailangan makonvict mo na yung principal. Kung ang accessory ay pinaniniwalaang nagtago, nagkubli o tumulong sa pagtakas ng principal, hindi siya maaaring hatulan maliban na lamang kung nakilala ang principal na kanyang tinulungan at nahatulan o nakonvict ang principal ng krimen. Ang pananagutan ng accessory sa ganitong sitwasyon ay nakabatay sa pagkakakilanlan at pagkakasala ng principal. Oo nga naman, dapat ma-determine muna natin na principal talaga yung tinago niya. Kasi ang rule kasi dapat principal yung itinago niya or kinonceal or tinulungan niyang tumakas. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to share it and to subscribe.